Alright, this is a fucking rant. This is not going to be a rant where I'm gonna be screaming and shit, because honestly, this topic needs to be approached with a clear mind, and that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm way over the point where I think that screaming would help regarding this issue, and I kinda wanna, just talk about the shit that's happening and how it can be fixed, maybe or not. I will warn you, this video is not half as theoretical as my other videos. This is just me spilling my thoughts on this topic because it annoys the fuck out of me. So, if you've played in Season 3, which you probably have if you're watching this video, then you may have noticed that the TP system is pretty fucking flawed and ranked. So, tribute points are getting thrown left and right. Some people get none, some people lose points for winning, some people get a shit ton, and it's completely fucking broken. Hi-Rez has released a statement on this. Cool. They said they're gonna fix it. They said it's gonna take more than the rest of the season, apparently, because there's been a major issue with the whole thing, and it's gonna take time to readjust because every value in the game is basically based on a wrong value, if that makes sense. So everything regarding matchmaking is everything regarding TP is completely fucked. But that brings us to the core issue. Even if TP was fixed, matchmaking would still be fucked. I was considering for a long time to make a collection of games that prove my point, take screenshots. I've actually had quite a few, saved them over time, just to prove my point. And then I realized, you all fucking know. No one really needs any additional sources to see how fucked matchmaking is. It's just nothing that surprises anyone at this point. It's just obvious as fuck, to be honest. And this issue has been going on for so long, and it's gotten worse from my impression. There used to be 5-man pre-made queues for casual conquest, which at least prevented that from going into the other games. There used to be less players grouping together and ranked. I like the new system the way it is, but I still get the idea why it wasn't always possible. There used to be a lot of things that were different. The player base used to be a lot smaller, like big time. But now we have a huge player base. We have capacities to have enough players to get decent matches at least. And it's still not happening. Instead of showing you a fuck ton of different examples, I will show you one. I will show you this one example of a game that I recently had that basically highlights all the issues. So if you look at these two teams, I censor all the names, so no one can talk about who's who and what not. You will see that there is a significant difference in a certain stat regarding this game. You will see that team, we'll call it green because it's green here. Team green has a Smite growth score, which is on average 2,506.6 points. That is a pretty solid score for a casual. Bear in mind, Smite growth score isn't actual elo. It's factored in from all modes, not only conquest. But there's, only so much margin of error in there. You can get an idea of where someone could roughly be, judging from the amount of games in a specific mode that have been played. And if you look at the players here, you will see that all of them have actually played a solid number of conquest games. Almost all of them have played more than me, and I've played this game a lot. So these guys are no beginners to conquest. They have very good win rates, except for one person. They have 56% win rate, 54%, 53%, and 54%. And that one guy has 48%. All in relatively high level games, we can assume, because they have relatively high Smite growth score. They also have a decent number of games on the gods, but that doesn't really matter. Then you look at their profiles, which I can't do here, but all of them are placed around platinum, as far as I remember, platinum, diamond, that kind of division, that kind of elo. Once again, we don't have the real elo, but assuming from the average elo from the estimation that Smite makes. That's roughly where they are. And then you look at Team 2. Team 2 has 2,267.2 average elo, which is nearly 250 elo difference on average. 250 elo difference on one player wouldn't matter, but on average, that is freaking huge. The one has a total of 11,000 elo, and the other team has a total of 12,000 elo. Sorry, I keep saying elo when it's actually Smite score, but who gives a shit? I call it elo for the sake of making it simpler here. And you look at the players, and the lowest player has a rating of 1,894, whereas the highest player on the enemy team has more than 1,000 elo more, or Smite score. And then you look at the win rates. The win rates are mostly lower, 52% most of the time, 153, and then 157. The 57 win rate player, however, has played significantly less Conquest, which means his win rate will probably lower over time, as it usually does. So, yeah, what gives? You'll see that the first team has a significant advantage from the start in this match. But I haven't even pointed out the most crucial thing here. They're in a 5-man pre-made party. They have all the advantages. They should have been able to win this game with only solo queuing people. But they have a 5-man party, whereas the other team only has 1 2-player party. That is absolutely fucking stupid. If you think about this and you say, like, look, all right, it might have been at an off time, might have been like 4 a.m. something, where no one was playing, you're wrong. This game was played at prime time. This game was played in the evening. This game was after a relatively short queue. This game was a game where the game system considered the game fair and considered the players to be matched equally against each other, and you're like, yeah, you're good to go. Let's do this. There is no fucking logic in that. Look at that. Look at the stats. One team has all the advantages in terms of numbers, except for this one single player that drops off a little bit. The other team has all the disadvantages. And on top of that, they get a 5-man pre-made. Hooray! Why the fuck do they get a 5-man pre-made? There is no fucking reason why this should have happened. A team that has 5 members pre-made should have, when queued against a team that isn't 5 members pre-made, a significant elo disadvantage. And that wasn't the case here. The Smite score says one thing. The ranked stats say another, because they all show the same thing. They prove it on another way. The other team had players around gold mostly. I think even some silvers. Not even close to where the other team was placed. Obviously, ranked and casual elo are not combined, but the ranked placement of someone will tell you roughly where his matches in casual will take place, unless he's not playing casual at all. And that's not the case for any of them, judging from the number of games they've played. So, there's just no fucking reason for this match to happen. I repeat myself here, but it's just so dumb that it did. And the game should have been the other way around. The team with a 5-man pre-made should have been at an elo disadvantage. They should have been the team with 2,267.2 elo. And the other team with the no parties should have had the high elo. Maybe then it could have been fair. Maybe. But communication is still a major advantage. Especially when you have one very experienced player that can, do short calls. But none of that applied here. It really seems as if the algorithm confused the teams and was like, oh look, that team has higher elo, all right, but they're not pre-made, and the other team is pre-made and they get lower elo, so that's fair. And then the system is like, oh shit, man, I miscalculated. The other team has the pre-made. Oh fuck me. Well, too bad. Tough luck for them. Well, you know what? It fucking sucks. It fucking sucks for everyone involved. And this problem drags on. Matchmaking has been extremely garbage as of late. And I cannot stress this enough. And what makes this even worse is Smite is, in my opinion, an extremely great game. I freaking love the game. I love the idea behind it. I love the way it is set into place, the way you can control your character, the way the characters are designed, the abilities they have. All of that is really fucking cool. The whole concept of the Conquest map is amazing to me. And then it gets fucking ruined by not having a fair game. Ever. Games are they're like rolling the dice. You queue and you'll be like, oh, I bet it all on black. Maybe we win, maybe we won't. The potential of you to carry a game is obviously always there. There's this slight chance that you can carry a game even though you're kind of not expected to. But how often is that realistically going to happen? That's one question. And the other important point here is, how often can you fucking bother? I've played with multiple players that were a lot better than me. I'm not talking they were a little bit better, I'm talking like a lot better than me. And so many of them have stopped playing for one simple reason. They were fucking tired of having to carry every single game. Every single match they got was a match where they were kind of playing at a disadvantage, got matched with shitty players, and the other team did decently in comparison, and they were kind of by ELO expected to carry the game. They had to play carries every game. They had to play guards that were really good on every game in order not to lose. And that's just tilting as fuck. You want to have a game where you can rely on your teammates, a game where you can expect to have enemies of equal skill level, and none of that is happening. And it's so bad. It's so bad for the game. And that's not the only issue with it. We're not done here. The next problem is that there are not enough penalty systems. There is legit no option to report someone for trolling. You can report someone for intentionally feeding, but that's not the same thing. Someone can... I don't even know how you want to prove that someone intentionally feeds unless he writes it in chat. Because someone can legit build complete fucking garbage, just keep running into the enemy, but just not actually wanting to intentionally feed, but instead being completely fucking clueless about how to play the game. You might just think, oh, I need to build defense on a mage early because otherwise I get killed, and and then you don't know that minions are strong and you keep dying, and you're just an idiot, but you're not actually intentionally feeding. And that's actually not reportable. Reportable is if you say, look, I will feed. That's pretty much the only way that's a reportable offense. And the other reports are mostly for AFKing, which will often be ignored anyways because it's a report for someone disconnecting from the game in many scenarios, unless the player says, yo, I'm gonna go fucking AFK, fuck all of you guys, which no one will do because they're not idiots. Even if they're idiots, they're not that stupid. And the last report is for harassment, which is so fucking obvious. Like if you harass someone, you report it. Yeah, wow, big surprise. But if someone trolls, if someone walks behind you all game, if someone blocks you off all game, if someone intentionally saves enemies from you, and imagine him here, just walling off enemies from you so you can't kill them. There's nothing you can do. You can report for other and you can pray that it goes through, but I doubt it fucking will. Intentional trolling is something that has never been considered a negative thing, apparently, in terms of reports. And this is fucking horrible and fucking wrong. Just pointing out an example here, the best taco. I don't know if you know her. It doesn't matter if you like her or not, but she's been playing ranked a lot, and she has players that are coming into her games intentionally, like sniping her on stream, so they get into the games she's playing, and then intentionally feeding on her team. And obviously not doing that when they're on the enemy team, just so she loses points. We're at that fucking point, and that's not a reportable offense. If players like that can roam around freely in large amounts as we see in the matches, then how the fuck are we expected to have any kind of fair match? If I can't report a troll for trolling, then I have to stick through the whole fucking game with that troll. I can try to drag my team through it, where maybe have a 5% chance or whatever to still win, but I can't rely on one of my teammates at all, so it's basically a 4v5, and that's not fucking fun. Even if we win, it's not fun. It's just a tedious grind at that point. And we can't do anything about it. These players will continue to exist, and the report system as it currently is just doesn't do anything about it. It doesn't offer any opportunities to just get rid of these people when you really should. We're creating a toxic environment in many ways, not just toxicity as in people harassing others, and we have no way of preventing it. And there's no steps coming from above that are like, look, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. There's no clear line, nothing from higher where they say, okay, we're going to address this, because it hasn't been spoken about for the most part. It hasn't been addressed. It hasn't been a priority issue at any point. No one gives a shit, basically. You get away with way too much in Smite, and I can even speak for myself here. I got away with way too much in some regards. And you're still there, and nothing fucking happens. You have to be fucking outright racist or something to actually get banned. And even then, it's more likely that somebody has to send a support ticket and yada yada. The support system works, but it doesn't support everything that a support system should support. Fucking hell, give us an option to report people for playing badly just so we feel good about ourselves and just dumpster those reports right away. Just so we can fucking report an asshole for something. But anything is better than what we have right now. The 3 options and an other. Like, what? What's the point? All right, back to the actual matchmaking. So both of this affects matchmaking. And different from any other aspect of the game, there's nothing you can do about it. As much as you may enjoy the game, as much as you may have fun playing the game, as much as all of that will go for you. As long as you have the slightest bit of a competitive mindset in terms of you want to win a game, Smite will become frustrating unless you're much, much better than your division will allow for, or like expect you to be, or you're playing in full premates all the time. Not everyone has the option to play full premates all the time. I do have that option. I can do that. I can do that all fucking day, but this is not about me. This is about everyone else who does not have the fucking option to do that. For me, it's only like an obvious thing when I decide to not queue with a full team or when I decide to queue ranked. So I'm really lucky in that regard, actually. And it still pisses me off. It still pisses me off because it's such a stupid system and there's so much that could be done about it. And what annoys me even more is that so many high-risk employees actually want to argue that the game, like matchmaking system in the game is fine. It is not. It is obvious that it's not. And they keep trying to like pick these examples out and be like, oh, but if you knew that and blah, 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 and you don't know their real elo, blah, blah, blah. We don't know their real elo, but we know where it would be around. It's not too fucking hard to guess from a Smite Guru score and a ranked rating, both division-wise and elo-wise, where somebody would roughly be fucking placed. You can also tell from win rate, which is still visible, and probably after this fucking video, win rate will all of a sudden not be visible anymore as well. Like, why was elo hidden in the first place? Elo was hidden because matchmaking was shit, and they thought that would be a good idea to hide it in order to not care about matchmaking as much anymore, when it's exactly the wrong way around. Elo needs to be visible for a player to know where he's standing and understand why he is placed where he's placed and why he's playing against the players he's playing against. We get none of that. It was never about BM. It was about hiding bad matchmaking. It was about preventing BM against high-risk matchmaking system. And it hasn't stopped. And that pisses me off. It pisses me off so much and annoys me so much. And I really want this topic to be addressed. And I am hoping I will not be the only one to address this topic. With that, rant over. I hope at least part of it was enjoyable. I know not everyone is going to agree with me here. I'm fine with that. Everyone will have their own opinion. This is a rant. This is not a theoretical discussion. This is me speaking my heart and hoping to find joy in a game that I've enjoyed for a very long time and not be affected by bullshit that is a system that could relatively easily, maybe not easily reworked, but it could at least be spoken about. It could be addressed. It could be said, look, we're going to look into this. We're going to work on this more than we currently are, because apparently since fucking half a year, not much has happened. Even if there were slight changes behind the scenes, and this is like something that's ongoing, there needs to be a major fucking overhaul as there is with the TP system, because something in that system is obviously broken, as shown by a single match. And I don't need to drag out the other fucking 50 examples. Thank you guys for watching. Duke Sloth, out.